Laughter is a really interesting social behaviour. We do it primarily when we're with other people. We use it to show we like each other, that we agree with each other, we understand each other. That means it's really important to understand, because what could it mean, for example, if that went wrong?
Hello, I'm Nigel Lovell. There you go. Is that a good enough introduction? What more do you want?
Hello, yes, I'm Nigel. I have to say how lovely it is to be here in Brighton.
Nigel has been in stand-up for 8 years and through countless gigs hopes to one day get his break in comedy.
Do you know what I find annoying? It's when you're driving along and then a hearse zips up the inside of you. Fucking hate undertakers.
I'm Ruby and I wanted to find out how comedy is created. I found comedian Nigel Lovell, who agreed to let me film him on his lead up to a very important and possibly life-changing gig at the Bearcat.
Ultimately, my goal as a stand-up comedian is to make people laugh. I think that's got to be every comedian's goal, is just to make people laugh. I'd quite like to be getting myself to a position where I can make a reasonable living from just doing stand-up comedy. What do I have to do to get there? I've got to be better. I've got to be better than everyone else. Unfortunately, I've listened to loads and loads of professional comedians who are right at the top of the game, and pretty much they all say there's no secret apart from writing and gigging. So I just have to write more and gig more.
She was so posh, her emotional baggage was Louis Vuitton.
When you start, you're probably not all that good. It just takes time to get good. You serve your apprenticeship, you do lots and lots of spots at lots of little gigs where there are not many audience, and it's hard work, and just trying to get anyone to laugh is really difficult. And by doing that, you become better.
What's your name? Hello, Laura. And have you got a boyfriend, Laura? Oh, Christ, he looks big. This could go horribly wrong.
So I went out for dinner yesterday. Now the food was fantastic, but the waiter stank. He had terrible body odour. And the wine waiter, sommelier. And so at the moment I'm just writing some topical jokes. With topical jokes I'll have a look through the paper and just see what's in the news. For instance, today it's about the Oscars, so I might write down a whole list of things to do with the Oscars and see where those take me, whether that be people who've acted in them or the names of the films themselves. So I'll look at something like that, and then I'll just perhaps do a spider diagram and draw off all the connections I can make to the Oscars. I'll write down the name of the topic in the middle of a blank piece of paper and do as many spider diagrams as I can leading off that to see what path that will take me down. So the joke is, in 1997, Titanic won Best Picture Oscar. That went down well. So instead of saying a joke about furniture, you might want to say, no, I don't want just a joke about furniture. What about jokes about chairs? Yeah, but what sort of chair? Do I want to do a joke about a sofa? What can I associate with sofa? Well, actually, I'm getting older, and getting up from a sofa is really difficult. What do I do when I get up from a sofa? Well, actually, when I stand up from a sofa, I go, oh, I make a noise. I came up with a joke about how old I am. This is how old I am. I can no longer stand up from a sofa silently. And so, yeah, that was literally just from doing a design about furniture, and then the idea of me getting older. So that's partly how I write my jokes.
Yeah, you got extra going, haven't you?
I went to University College of London to meet Sophie Scott, a professor of cognitive neuroscience who specialises in laughter. I hoped that she would give Nigel a scientific understanding into his comedy.
We generally associate laughter with comedy and humour, but it's an emotional expression that we're normally using as frequently to kind of show affiliation and affection as much as amusement and humour. I think it's important to understand why humans laugh, because it's probably one of the more important behaviours that we do. It only works if everybody does it with you. So if one person laughs on their own, and no one joins in, then it probably won't work. It kind of works if people go along with you, and they're doing that as much for social reasons and affiliative reasons than as to do with kind of necessarily humorous reasons. I think maybe thinking about the science of laughter can help you understand, as a comedian, sometimes why people laugh the way they do. Laughter's an integral part of how we have conversations normally, and I sometimes wonder, in particularly stand-up comedy, if there isn't that kind of conversational use of laughter still there. Audiences definitely, particularly if they don't know a comedian, make a very quick assumption about them. It is probably more to do with confidence, being comfortable on the stage, being confident that you can start talking and do things like stop talking so the audience can laugh. Those are all things the audience will pick up on that are telling them you know what you're doing and it's going to be all right, and it's probably worth giving you a shot. So you can definitely study laughter scientifically. I think it may be harder to turn that into writing comedy scientifically. There's no one thing that makes everyone laugh. We don't all like the same music. We don't all like the same films. We wouldn't all like the same comedy. I'm not going to say anything I suspect any comedian wouldn't already know, but just do it. Do it and work out what works for you.
Really interesting to hear a scientist pretty much back up everything that you learn from just doing it, from being on the road.
I came up with an idea for some new material about work, because I used to work for a guy who only used to employ people depending on their date of birth. He was a numerologist. I think that there's something in that, and I'm going to see if I can have a little think about that when I'm on the tube, and maybe write something down that I will try out at a gig later tonight.
I sent Nigel to meet James, the owner and founder of Bearcat Comedy Club. This has been the starting point for many top comedians, and I want to see if James thinks that Nigel has what it takes.
I had to take a sip out of it.
That's okay, thank you.
So you've never been here before?
I've not.
This is it, the Bearcat Comedy Club.
Yeah, it's perfect. And how long have you been here?
October 1984.
And what made you start?
Well,
Here.
happenstance, like a lot of these things. I happened to be going out with this girl called Sarah Warwick at the time, and she was in a band, and the band decided to, rather than have a support band, they would have alternative cabaret as their support. I get on the stage with the clipboard, in case I forget the names, introduce them, and then I sit back, have a beer and laugh. That's quite a good job description. You can't always tell the comedians who are going to make it. Sometimes some of them take a very long time it's like a gestation period. In the early days, we had people like Harry Enfield and Julian Clary and Joe Brand. I'm not going to name people who took a long time, but there are some quite well-known names that took quite 4 or 5 years, and then suddenly it clicked. You can't really tell when it's going to happen. It's part of the resilience, I think, of being a comedian. You have to have a hard skin, because you're going to get rejection. The rejection's part of the learning process. And even, top comedians will have a bad night even now. Every night's different. Each person is different. Each person has their own special ingredient. They say they suddenly get it. They get their comedy voice, and then they're off and away. And they can channel all the things they've been writing through that, and it just becomes more natural. When Nigel comes along to do his open spot, I'm looking for him to be entertaining and to make people laugh, because after all, that's what our job is. And to make me laugh as well. It's basically he's doing an audition, and to see how funny he is, and if he's funny enough, we'll book him. It's Nigel Lovell!
Hello, yes, I'm Nigel, and it is lovely to be here. Although getting here was an absolute nightmare. Do you know what I find annoying? It's when you're driving along and then a hearse zips up the inside of you. Fucking hate undertakers.
So, what did you think then, James?
Well, Nigel, I was impressed, actually. I think very confident. Made me laugh a couple of times. Wasn't sure about the numerology bit. I seemed to be a bit stretched.
Does anyone know what a numerologist is? It's someone that thinks they can predict the future from numbers. And he had them up and he goes, oh, that's perfect. You've got the job. It gave me the job just purely based on when I was booking.
I didn't feel you had any fear, but then I'll see what it's like on the night. That's good. You bounded to the microphone sufficiently. You faced the right way. He spoke well. It bodes well.
3rd of September 1894. Oh, Starling, come in, you're head of sales now. Next one, date of birth, 4th of January, 1920. Fuck off, Mother Teresa. No Sagittarius.
It was nice to be out there actually, and I'm really looking forward to coming.
Well, I tell you, I wish you luck.
Thank you very much indeed.
When must we die?
So 5 days before my gig at the Bearcat, and I've spent the whole weekend in bed with the flu. I had to cancel my gig on Friday night, and I had to cancel my gig on Saturday night. I'm feeling better today though, so I'm hoping to be back up on my feet, and we'll be doing a few gigs this week in preparation for the gig at Bearcat on Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it.
The time has come for Nigel to perform in one of the most important gigs of his life. Tonight we will discover if all of his weeks of preparation have paid off in front of the Bearcat audience.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Prepared, know what I'm going to say. It's been a hot sunny day though, and it's been the first Saturday where it's been a hot sunny day, so it'll be interesting to see how many of the audience have just spent the whole afternoon in a pub garden and got lashed. We'll see. We'll see how cantankerous they are.
Please put your hands together for Mr. Nigel Lovell! Hello! Hi, I'm Nigel, and I have to say, it is lovely to be here. Although getting here was an absolute nightmare. Do you know what I find annoying? It's when you're driving along, and then a hearse zips up the inside of you. Fucking hate undertakers.
Nigel, he was the pub guy. I loved him. He was my second favourite. He was just engaging the audience. He was a little bit cheesy in parts, but that's my kind of sense of humour. We all loved him.
He came up afterwards and goes, well, you know your problem. You're too middle class. My name is Nigel.
Nigel was fantastic. I loved his puns, had me laughing, it was like non-stop laughter. Thought it was great.
I just realised I am old, and I just realised that there had been some clues along the way, like I can no longer stand up from a sofa silently.
Nigel was brilliant, very relaxed, lovely style, great timing. I'd so much want to see him back here again doing a proper slot. I think the audience want him. I think he'd be welcome back here again, most definitely.
Got the weirdest heckle last night, Felton, weirdest heckle. This bloke at the back, halfway through, just shouted out, Oi! Oi! You're so posh, I bet you was raised by both parents.
It's always difficult to tell exactly how well something's going when you're on stage. Even if, let's say there's 100 people there, if 99 of them are laughing and one person isn't laughing, that's the person that you see. But I think it went okay.
Do you know what the name Nigel actually means? Owns a tagine. Said that last night, 2 people in the front row, one turned to the other and said, what's a tagine? It's a small orange.
I'd like to think that they'll have me back at some point. We'll see. You just I'll keep gigging, and I'll keep trying to get better, and then you need to ask them.
Question. Should old people shave their pubes? I don't know. It's a grey area. I've been Nigel Love, you've been a delight. Thanks very much.
The days since I did my spot at the Bearcat. Just looking back on it, I think it went okay. Everyone seemed to enjoy it. I think I got some decent laughs. The other acts said I did alright, which is always nice, and James seemed to be quite happy with it. Apart from that, I'm just going to keep on gigging. Yeah, exciting times ahead. I'm really excited. Right, cheers, bye.